that's the thing I'm struggling to understand about Disney, because there are companies who do care.
Yeah.
There are left-wing companies
that care,
and all they want to do is be like Ben and Jerry's is a good example of that, right? Like they just don't like the Jews. That's just the way their ice cream. They just not fans of the Jews. You know, the mint chocolate chip they have does not like Jews, and that's just the way they run their operation.
Wow.
And that is what they stand for, right? They've been really clear about it, as clear as you could possibly be. Please don't buy our ice cream, Jews. That is their stance, and their new slogan, by the way. If you happen to be in a convenience store today, you'll see it on the containers. Please don't buy our ice cream, Jews. I think.
Wow,
it's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure.
That's strange.
But like that is an ideological company that makes ice cream. Disney is an ideological company that makes children's entertainment, or is Disney a company that wants to make a lot of money and thinks the best way to do that, or to appease its own employees here in the United States?
It's an ideological company, and it always has been.
How can an ideological company that, like, for example, believes in wokeness among gays be expanding in Oman? Why would they be going to? They're trying to expand their operation in countries that will execute you if you're gay. An ideological company wouldn't do that. They would. That's putting profits over to your ideology, is it not?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm willing to surrender on that one. Do you ever get that way where you're just I don't really care at this point? No, it's really not on the top of my list.
So you really do care about Disney, though.
I do.
More than literally anybody that I know.
Yeah, I do.
You followed it. It's been an inspiration in your life, in your career.
Walt Disney taught me. Walt Disney and Orson Welles were the guiding guys of my life. Both good and bad.
So that is a major, major part. And to understand them now, because you went through this phase where it was Walt Disney with this incredible vision of a company.
And an incredible vision of, I mean, it's always been an ideological company.
Yeah.
He was,
back in the day,
he was an American who thought America was a special place that had special ideas and laws that made people free to dream and do. And so he built his company. That's why all of those old shows that, used to run around the Mickey Mouse Club time, it was always good versus evil. It was, Johnny Tremaine. It was stories, Davy Crockett, stories of America. And that's what he really wanted to do. And, he really wanted to shore this all up and shore the family up. I really think he saw today's America coming. He knew that the family and children, if given the proper tools and truth, would be able to navigate anything, and America would be the shining city on the hill. They've destroyed that. They don't believe that. They don't believe that anymore. They believe they'll be the shining city on a hill for another kind of flame, but it ain't truth.
So after, at some point, the ideological beginnings of Disney under Walt, they fade away. And the criticism of them when I was a kid, I feel like was just churning out merch and crap.
Correct.
To maximize the amount of money. They were just a profit machine.
Correct. And internally, they started, as they grew bigger and bigger, they started embracing all of the leftist ideas, and that infiltrated to every level eventually. And now they're ideologues, but they also are business people.
So they bring in the cash, but because
why are we still talking about this? I said I'd surrender. I mean,
I'm just trying to understand because I think you look at their mainstream releases. Right, they're big budget, explosive $100 million type of releases. They don't go down these roads all that much. I still think a lot of them are pretty acceptable. Now, when you start looking at the stuff that they're throwing on, like the Disney Channel, and some of the stuff they're targeting tweens with, and that sort of ilk of their programming, they go farther and farther and farther down these roads.
Yeah, because
But like,
parents are taking their kids to the movies and watching it because they're in the dark and they're watching it with their kids. Television, mom and dad generally aren't watching,
right.
Disney Channel online or, Disney TV. They're in, maybe mom's in the kitchen doing some stuff and she'll only hear once in a while. She'll be like, wait, what, hang on just a second. What's happening?
It's part of this too, though, that these mainstream $100 million releases are being shown in Oman, where the tween high school dramas they make for the Americans are not.
No.
They're not getting imported to Saudi Arabia. So these big things are, and so they keep those pretty safe. And that's what makes me, again, I know you surrendered on this already, but this is what makes me think they are more judging the playing surface than a hardcore ideological company. I think they are filled with a lot of hardcore ideological people, particularly in the creative side of things, as we saw in these videos this week.
Always have been.
But they're not acting this way all around the world. They're acting this way because they
didn't act this way when they were still hardcore ideologues for the left. They didn't act this way until they felt tide has changed.
Yeah.
We're now in control.
Right.
You'll notice all these companies are coming out and just taking their masks off. They don't care anymore. They just don't care. You will do what the big corporations say because you can't live without us. I can't wait to get to my farm so I can prove them wrong. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. They are taking our children down this path. I mean, I am not sending my kids to college. I will not do it.
Really?
I will not do it.
What if you could find a college, and there are some that seem to have good, good programs?
I'd send them to Hillsdale.
Yeah, right. Like Hillsdale is an example.
That's it.
There might be others. We've talked to other. I'm
not going to.
You just don't want to take.
No, I'm not taking any chance.
They're going to go on their own if they go. They pay for it on their own.
I mean, I don't. You're 18. You can do what you want. I'm not paying somebody to destroy you and to destroy everything that I have worked hard to instill in you.
I have to say, I think more and more people are getting to that point.
I hope so.
I'm there. I mean, I've always felt like the credentialism of college is completely overvalued anyway.
Yeah. What do you learn, Stu? Have we ever went? Oh well, he went to college for broadcasting. Oh, so we should listen to him.
No, but we're in a dumb business.
No, we are in a dumb business.
Right.
But are they any smarter than us?
No. I mean,
because they don't learn anything that is real. Nothing.
This is stealing, I think, Brian Kaplan's example here. But like, if a person goes through college and they have all A pluses, and on the very last day before graduation, they resign, don't show up for graduation, don't get a degree, and the next person comes through and they get all D minuses all throughout college, but they squeak through and graduate, the vast majority of this country would hire the guy with the D minuses.
Of course.
Because they would say they have a degree in college. That is the dumbest. Any individual person with a sense at all could look at that situation and say, obviously, the person who got all A pluses throughout college is the one you should hire. And yet, this system is set up so that the person with the D minuses will get hired in almost all situations. That's insanity. That's insanity. It's got to change.
And how many people do you know that are wildly successful, that maybe went to a little college or no college, and then if they went to college, they dropped out and they're like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, how many women's studies, ethnic studies, sexual studies do I really need? Do I really need to be able to do business here? To be able to wait a minute, I'm working for a bank. I need women's studies for what reason?
Right.
No.
Well, and this is, I think, a problem too, in that you see the way look at the way our situation is set up right now. You have these big tech companies, and they go to these fact checkers, and the fact checkers ask experts to get what the right opinion is, and then they come back and they
Where
present.
do they get those experts?
Right, exactly. And this is the problem. There are no conservative gender study experts. Now, there is obviously an argument on the conservative side for these issues. I mean, there's a couple.
There's no experts.
Deborah So we've talked to before, and she's not a conservative, but she at least has some rational thinking on this.
But they've kicked her out.
But they've kicked her out.
Yep.
So when they get people who go against the grain, they kick them out. And generally speaking, a person who's conservative is not going to college to go want to study gender issues. It's just not. It's not within our interest set. But if we don't have experts.
Right.
At all that are ever provided when these journalists go to the fact checkers, there's no one to ask.
Is the problem. We have made people who have gone to college and have a degree, they are the experts, no matter what they believe, over somebody else who can maybe not go to college, but has really take economics. Mm-hmm. We are going to the experts to solve inflation. The same experts that caused inflation, and while us non-experts said, you can't do that, it'll inflate the money, the experts said, no, it won't. This time it's different. We said, no, it's not. Now, I don't have a degree in economics. I do have something called a brain cell. You must have none. And what happens? We go to the experts, and as it collapses because of their recommendations and their systems, they are the only ones we'll go to for the answer.
That's a real problem.
That's insane. That is the definition of insanity.
And we've reached, I think, what I would think is the peak of this just over the past couple of weeks. One of the most highly educated people in our society about to be named to the Supreme Court and thinks she needs to go to a biologist to find out what a woman is.
Yep.
This is completely bonkers.
Check the pants. Check the junk. I mean, I would have even given you, I can't, hang on just a second, and then checked, into her pants and went, okay, I know how to define a woman. I would have even taken that, a moment of hesitation, but not that answer.